Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Throwbacks Throwdown. We are discussing a topic that I really wanted to talk about for a while. I know we've briefly touched upon some of these items in the past, but tonight we are specifically talking about the late, the great John Hughes. So I know you fellas are familiar with Mr. John Hughes. Any quick little thoughts on him before we kind of get into our specific topic of him? Or
Go ahead, Cass, if you have anything.
He was like it's like the filmmaking voice of our generation, and even just a little bit before us too, because he was
See, I mean, I'm so emotional here. You hear my voice crack here.
Yeah, I mean, so many, like, he's a legend for our generation. As we already covered in the throwdown that Scales was sadly absent for one of his movies, The Breakfast Club. But yeah, just a lot of iconic movies, and not that long of a period of time. No. At least his prime years, because then he kind of fell off after early 90s there. So
yes, sir. Yeah. Scales, any thoughts on him?
Yeah, no, just echoing Cass sentiments. I think just so many classic movies that came out in a time that we were growing up that I mean, he's kind of like an icon. Like, I mean, maybe not icon's not the best word, but I mean, just the guy's a legend. Yeah, it could be icon, could be good. Just so many good movies in that period of time for us. I mean, what more can you say? The guy was just phenomenal.
And his movies have I'm not comparing him to Scorsese, but like his movies have a feel. Like when you're watching a Scorsese movie, you kind of know you're watching a Scorsese movie. Like John Hughes, whether he directed it, wrote it, produced it, whatever it was, like it has that feel, and you know that he was involved in some way.
Right.
Yeah, you basically know if the movie is filmed or set in Chicago, there's a strong choice or a chance that it is a John Hughes film. So
yeah.
So yeah, kind of going off that, John Hughes, yeah, he's just, I think he's just an iconic type of, writer, director, all that good stuff from our time period. And he just made the movies, the coming of age movies, the family type movies. It was always sort of a brand with his type of, his films, where you just, like you said, Cass, you get a certain feel when you watch his movies, and you just kind of know it's one of his. Over the years, certain films, you'd always kind of guarantee that there was going to be some sort of an actor that you've grown to love. And one of my favorite actors of all time, one of my favorite comedians of all time, John Candy, he was in a ton of John Hughes films.
Yes.
And so, yeah, you just kind of get that connection over the years. And there's certain movies, especially around the holidays, that you're going to flip on, and there's a high chance that it's probably a John Hughes film. And with that being said, we do have a caveat for today. So we are going to be picking and going around and talking about our favorite John Hughes film, but we will not be allowed to pick Home Alone, only because we all feel the same way about this movie. And I think we briefly mentioned, we will most likely be discussing this in a Christmas in July episode. So we wanted to hold off on any Home Alone talk for now. So that will not be allowed to be picked. But with that being said, I'm going to put an imaginary time on the clock as my voice cracks again, because I'm so into this. I'm going to ring the gong myself this time.
Nice. Oh, that's a nice ring.
There we go. And I'm going to throw it over to you, Cass. Please share with us your favorite John Hughes film.
A movie that figured into our college experience very much: Planes, Trains, and Automobiles.
Ooh. Nice.
Love me some Planes, Trains, and Automobiles. And like you just mentioned, John Candy. I mean, John Candy, everybody loved John Candy. Like, who doesn't love John Candy? He was great.
I'll tell you who doesn't love John Candy: the terrorists.
Terrorists, yeah, that's right. That's all I was going to say.
We don't care about them. He just had such a warm, inviting presence, and he was effortlessly funny. And he was just, whatever he did, he's very believable in the role. But Planes, Trains, and Automobiles is hilarious. He and Steve Martin have such great chemistry together. It's kind of like the old comedy duos. You know, you have the straight man and, you know, like the goofball. And, you know, Steve Martin kind of plays the straight guy to John Candy's goofball, but then they do trade on and off a little bit. You know, Steve Martin has his goofy moments too. If for no other reason, it's my favorite John Hughes movie because of the scene on the highway where they're going the wrong way.
How do they know where we're going?
That was my introduction to this movie because I had never seen it. I'd never heard of it until college. And we used to play Seen It, that, you know, the board game, and it had the video clues. And the first thing I ever saw from Planes, Trains, and Automobiles was that highway scene. And out of context, it's hysterical, you know, like where they're going the wrong way. And, you know, like they think that the guy's drunk, telling them like you're going the wrong way. Oh, how would he know where we're going? He's drunk. But, you know, when they go,
how many times does he beep on the horn? I know. Like, I think you know the answer.
Like 13 or something like that. It's something crazy. But when they go in between the two trucks and Steve Martin looks over and John Candy is the devil, you know, laughing, it's like, it's pants pissingly funny. It's so good. And it's a movie that I want to watch at Christmas, but it's a Thanksgiving time movie. But like, it makes me think of Christmas because it's.
Do either of you watch it at Thanksgiving? Like, have you made that a Thanksgiving tradition? You did, Duff?
I have. Yeah, I do. I try to spread the holiday movies out. So there's that one, and there's actually another John Hughes movie that I'm not sure if either of you are familiar with. That's also a Thanksgiving one.
Oh,
have you ever heard of Dutch?
Yes,
I have. I haven't seen it though.
It's also another one that. Ed O'Neill, he's great in it. Ed O'Neill is awesome.
Yeah.
And yeah, if you ever get around to it, highly recommend that one as well.
Nice.
All right. Excellent answer and choice, Cast. Scales. The turn is now yours.
Thank you. So I'm going to go with another John Candy centric John Hughes film. One that I remember watching as a kid. I think it would play for some reason. I remember it playing on TV a lot. And this is The Great Outdoors.
Ooh,
John Candy
choice.
and Dan Aykroyd.
Excellent.
Two of my all-time favorite comedic actors, comedians, whatever you want to call them. Just a classic 80s. I think this movie came out in 88. So classic 80s movie. The basic premise of this film is that they're John Candy's taking his family out to a cabin, might be Wisconsin, I think, and then his wife is her sister and husband, which is Dan Aykroyd. They come to spend time with them too, and all kinds of hijinks ensue. And Dan Aykroyd's kind of like this Wall Street hard ass kind of guy, and he's busting on John Candy. Chet is John Candy's character's name. Just busting on him.
Stedman.
Chet Stedman from Rookie of the Year. Nice. Yeah, so that's a couple other memories I have of that quickly. The old 96er. I still joke on text with my cousin Eddie about that all the time whenever I go out and eat a big steak at a restaurant. John Candy takes down a 96-ounce steak in this movie, which is hysterical.
All the fat and grizzle too.
Yeah, got to finish it all the way.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course the bear, this Kodiak bear that apparently was like a famous acting bear. I looked it up on Wikipedia earlier. Like this same bear was in a bunch of movies. So he's been around the block. And the big climax at the end of the movie where John Candy shoots him in the ass with the shotgun, and then you see the bear's bare ass running out the door. Just
screaming.
Yeah, just love it. Just love Great Outdoors. One of my all-time favorites.
I've never seen it.
Never seen it?
I've seen the 96 scene.
Okay,
the old 96. I've seen it's one I've only seen little bits.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah, it's not
highly recommend.
Not that I don't want to see it. I just
definitely check it out, and make sure you watch the credits because they do. Do you know the song by I think it's Wilson Pickett, "The Land of a Thousand Dances"?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Can you mash potato? All that, yeah. That they do like a dance montage at the end. It's really funny. So make sure you watch it all the way through.
Okay.
I highly recommend The Great Outdoors. That's another excellent choice.
Yeah. All right, Duff.
That was one of my options I might have picked. Nice. I have two more options. It's really tough to pick between these two, but if I'm going with what I personally love and adore, I have to go with another, of course, well, crazy, another John Candy here. Uncle Buck, I got to go with. Uncle Buck is just an absolute classic. It's not really a holiday movie. It's just filmed, I think, during, it was like cold and, of course, Chicago. And, just basic premise of this one is, Uncle Buck plays kind of like a down and beaten down kind of brother of one of the characters there. And essentially, John Candy's sister-in-law, her mother or father, whatever, end up getting sick and the parents have to go away. And John Candy's called in to essentially babysit their 3 children. You have like a teenage daughter, and then you have a young Macaulay Culkin, which I think that was his first role, if I'm not mistaken.
I think so.
So yeah, that was kind of his first role where he was kind of discovered. And it's just kind of all the antics of John Candy. He's basically almost like a degenerate gambler. He likes to go out and go bowling and drinking and smoking his cigars, and he doesn't really know what he's doing. He gets into antics with the neighbor who is, she sees apparently a single man. John Candy himself, he's trying to, patch things up with his girlfriend, take the next step. So it's just, it's like a whole comedy of, errors and, him butting heads with the teenage daughter. And it's just, it's a lot of fun. And just John Candy at his finest. Probably my favorite moment in that one is, when he meets the principal or the vice principal, and he gives her a quarter and tells her to go downtown and have a rat gnaw off her mole on her face or something. So it's one of my favorite lines from that one. But yeah, that was mine. Any of you guys have an honorable mention? I think I have one movie in particular that I think all of us would agree that should deserve an honorable mention here.
Sure. What is it?
Ferris Bueller. I mean, I feel like we have to mention that if we're talking about John Hughes. No? Cast disagrees. Oh.
You know what? I like the movie. I don't like Ferris Bueller himself.
Yeah.
I think he's a little prick.
So you don't like Matthew Broderick or Ferris Bueller himself?
No, Matthew Broderick's a good actor. I don't like the character Ferris Bueller.
Yeah.
Yeah, he kind of plays
I don't like. Yeah, because I'm a nerd. Yeah, like I'm a nerd. I fly, I walk the straight line, and I don't like these like supposedly too cool for school little pricks who like get away with everything. Go show.
Yeah, I think
that's
But it's a great movie. It's a great movie.
Yeah,
I know we all love that scene. Was it the secretary Grace when she picks up the phone and she's pretending to be Ed?
Rather than say anything, she just groans over the phone. Yeah, it's awesome. Oh, but yeah, that's. I thought that deserved something. I don't know. Any of you guys have other honorable mentions you want to talk about or bring up? Or
National Lampoon's Vacation. I mean,
did he do Vacation?
Yes, he did that one. He did, Christmas Vacation as well.
It's so hard because again,
earlier days,
like we said at the top, you don't really know. Like, did he direct it? Did he write it? Did he produce it? Is it story by? He had a hand in all of that. But that's that's a good one. Obviously, I love The Breakfast Club because I picked it in a prior, so I won't say it. But
I knew you were going to say that one. But
here's one that kind of gets derided by some people. I don't get because I actually really like it. Dennis the Menace.
Oh yeah,
I feel like that was his last good one.
Not a bad choice there.
I'm fairly well known nowadays for using the GIF of Walter Matthau with the chiclet teeth. Whenever I think something's bad or ridiculous, I just pop that into a conversation.
That works.
That scene in the movie is amazing. It's so fun.
Yeah, it's a good. I was so happy that they brought that because I used to like the cartoon of Dennis the Menace when we were little. So I was so glad when they brought that movie to life. That was super exciting for me.
And
I think I saw it in the theater.
Walter Matthau was the perfect Mr. Wilson.
Yes, he was.
What, Christopher Lloyd was in that too? Yeah, it's a good cast. It's a really good cast.
His black teeth, and when he farts into the fire.
Yeah, it's just like those type of movies. You just get the feel, and you just know it's a John Hughes movie. But good talk here, gentlemen. I think we kind of run out of time here. So I want to thank everyone for tuning in and talking about, our favorite John Hughes movies. If you guys have another movie maybe we didn't discuss, or you don't agree with us, or you do agree with us, comment, send us an email, give us some ideas for maybe some future episodes or maybe things we left out. Definitely follow us on all of our forms of social media, TikTok and the Gram, Technodrome Pod at Technodrome Pod.
Throwbacks Technodrome Pod.
Technodrome Pod. I always forget that.
Sorry,
It's
you'll get it
terrible.
one
I
day.
need to have it like tattooed on me or something.
Oh, there you go. That's a good idea.
I could do
Maybe
that.
have it as your background next time.
There you go.
That's not a bad idea. Yeah, I want to thank everyone once again for tuning in, and we hope that you guys stick around and watch some future episodes and look out for something that we will be coming out with soon. So thank you guys, and we'll see you all soon. Take care.
See ya. Bye-bye.
Bye.